Hey guys, welcome to Monday night's Dream Team Zoom. I missed you guys last week. Thank you for everyone that filled in for me while I was gone. We had internet, but it was just kind of hard at the campsite there to have it consistent and have like a place. Actually, the one night that Lisa did it, I totally forgot about the time change anyway. And my Zoom said that the recording had posted, and I was like, well, that's weird. It doesn't start. And then I was like, oh crap. So it's probably best I wasn't in charge last week. But so tonight, sorry, for those of you that just got on, I swallowed some disinfectant on accident, just like the aerial part of it. I didn't like drink it. And anyway, I'm choking, so I'll be fine. But if you hear that, that's what it is. Okay. So tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about comparison syndrome, because I think that is something that happens to all of us. It's a natural thing that happens in life. It's actually considered like an impulse to our brain to compare constantly. It's just one of those human traits. And it can really be a great thing when it pushes you in the right direction, when it helps you, like, it depends on who you're comparing yourself to, obviously. But as we all know in business, especially this business, because it happens on social media, a lot of times we will start thinking like, oh my gosh, she's so much better than I am. What, how come, that girl just started, I've been here for a couple years and she's already doing this and I haven't done that. Or there's also the I don't know, like, I don't know, you just, you know what I'm talking about. There's always those thoughts going through your head that you're not as good as that person. And sometimes I think that we even start putting people on like such a pedestal that they're kind of like celebrities in our eyes. And I'm going to talk openly about one thing that happened last week with the company of something that was like a celebrity-ish in a lot of people's eyes. And some of you may have felt that way, and some of you may have not. But just know that these are humans. Everyone, all these people are humans. Whether it's an airbrush model in a magazine, whether it's the girl on Instagram that only shows the perfect edit filtered, blah, blah, blah with the awesome caption, they're all just human beings, and no human is perfect. We're all just trying to do our best, right? So I want to talk about the impulse of comparing yourself, and then we're going to get into like the celebrity thing part of it. So I know for me in particular, when I start having that, like, I don't know, there's like those days where you sit down to work, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, her post was so good. Oh my gosh, all those people like that. Oh my gosh, she got that bonus. Oh my God, like that kind of thing. The second you feel that happening, basically what's happened is you're focused more on someone else than your own life. You're putting all your energy, all your thought process, all your eyeballs, your ears, everything, you're focused on someone else. So in that moment, when you feel yourself slipping down that rabbit hole, the best thing for you to do is to create more than you consume. So if you're looking at someone's fabulous post and you start comparing yourself, or stop looking at it and sit down and think, what could I post about? Make your own post. If you're looking at someone and be like, oh, wow, they did so great on detox, they lost so much weight and blah, 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 blah. Great. Put the phone down or whatever it is you're looking at. What can you do over the next 10 days on your detox? Like, how could you improve what's going on in your life? So create versus consume. It's tricky, I think, because of what we do. We use our phones for business, but there is a fine line, and we've all been on that slippery slope where you're creating, or you get on the phone because you're going to start creating, but before you know it, you're just consuming. And there are going to be good things to consume. Like, it's okay to be inspired by someone, but it's when you start scrolling through that person's page and you start, well, what did she say in that post? And I did a post like that one time and I didn't get that kind of reaction. And what filter she using? All of her pictures look so good. Like, when you start going down that rabbit hole, that's when you need to put that away and just think, I need to create versus consume. I need to focus on my life, focus on my business, focus on where I want to go and stop looking at what someone else is doing. Because it's a cliche, but you guys all know when you are focused on someone's social media, especially, that is just their highlight reel. You are not seeing any of the shit that's going on in their life. You're not seeing any of the crap from behind the scenes. And you guys, and so think of this, people in your life who in the real world, and you also know them on social media, and they're two different people, right? You all probably know people like that. It's the same thing. We are all not who we are, like, even as honest and open and real as most people are. they're still holding something back. People aren't going to put everything out there, which I'm fine with. I don't want to know everybody's dirty laundry and sob stories, but that's my point. So like when you're seeing that, when you get in that rabbit hole, make sure you start creating more than you're consuming. Also, you have to start to take a very intentional route into like regulating. I think regulating would be a good word. Like regulate what you consume. So what are you looking at? Whose posts are you following? Who's like for me, I love YouTube, but you can tell when I've been watching like tons of gardening YouTube or tons of decorating YouTube. I mean, Tom can probably tell, because before you know it, I'm like, oh, I want to do a new curtain, or I would like, you start to consume those things and you start to think about them. And it's a two-way street. So you might already be thinking about something, so you go and search it. So like maybe you're like, I need to come up with a good post idea, or I need to come up with like a good giveaway. So you start to search for that. But then that's when you have to stop yourself and regulate, like, okay, I've got the idea. I'm going to get off this person's page, or I'm going to get off of this website or whatever it is. And I'm going to start focusing on creating what I'm going to do versus continuing to compare myself to someone else's business. So keep an eye on regulating, like, what is it that you are consuming? Because if you are consuming anything that makes you feel bad, makes you go down that rabbit hole often, makes you start questioning if you're a good person or if you're doing enough work, things like that, obviously that's not going to be good. If you're consuming something that's like, you know what, that's a great point, I could improve this way, and that's a great idea, I could start to do these things, that's obviously, that's that instinct that's going to help you grow as a human. But just regulate and keep an eye on that. And just because you've maybe followed somebody for, let's say, 6 months and it's been motivational for you, it doesn't mean it might still be. Like there could be a time where all of a sudden that account is no longer raising you up. And so that's when you have to say, you know what, I love this person. She's been fun to follow. I've learned a lot from her, but I'm gonna have to mute her right now, because I'm starting to compare myself, or I'm starting to see, you know, what she's doing, and I don't feel good about it. I'm so sorry. Disinfectant is not meant to be inhaled. Okay. So along with regulating what you're consuming, you also need to monitor your thoughts. And that's something that you have to be, again, you have to be really intentional with that. So if you've sat down, you're going to, you know, okay, I'm going to figure out my social media for the week, or I'm going to figure out, you know, what I'm going to do, or how I'm going to plan out this reel or something like that. But then you start comparing yourself. And if you're not feeling motivated, you're not feeling inspired, and you start to feel like, I don't look like that, or she's so good at that, I can't do that, or she has such a big following, of course her reels are great, like I only have, you know, blah, blah, blah. Stop in the moment. Okay, this what I'm doing to myself right now is not good. Like you guys all have had a friend who's probably sat there at lunch one day and been like, oh, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, I'm so, like all these things that we women like to say about ourselves. And you're like, oh my gosh, stop talking to yourself that way. Like you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Like, oh my gosh, get out of that. That's the same thing. That's the same loop that's going in your head though, when you start comparing yourself. So keep an eye on what you're thinking, because remember, what you think about, you bring about. Like that's as old school and as real as it gets. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on grows. So if you are starting to feel less than and not qualified for something, that's empty. I have this one. Thank you. Tom's bringing me a drink. If you start to feel less than, like stop yourself, like just, you know, be your best friend and be like, you know what, I'm going to get off that gravy train. I'm going to come over back here. I'm going to go back to, like, for me, if I get into some of those, I'm like, you know what, I'll pull up my, I use Stitcher for my podcast. I'll pull it up and I'll like fire up an Ed Milet, or I'll fire up a Gary Vaynerchuk, or I will fire up a podcast that I know will bring me back to a helpful place versus, oh my gosh, how did she hit 200K? Oh my gosh, how did she do this in 6 months? Oh my gosh, how does she and her husband both have, you know, like all that stuff. The other thing to do too, that you can do to try to deal with this is, a lot of times, how I said in the beginning, like, these are just all humans. We're just all humans here. The second you start comparing yourself to someone, you instinctively, maybe you don't realize it, but you instinctively are aligning them as competition. So the second you're like, oh, she's prettier than me, you made it a competition. Oh, she's smarter than me, you made it a competition. So you are taking this poor innocent person who's on the other end of the phone, who doesn't even maybe know you exist, and you have just drawn the line and been like, we are competition, right? You know what I mean? Like we just do that naturally. Like you may not be thinking about that in the moment. Like, oh my God, her hair is so pretty. It's so much better than mine. You're making it a competition. So befriend your competitor, right? Become friends with that person. So if you've been, again, a good one, right? So if you've been following someone and you're so inspired by them and you just can't believe how amazing they are, and you're like, I want to be like them, I want to learn all the things, send them a message. Be like, hey, can we get together and do a Zoom together? Can we get together and do a live together? Like befriend them. Like, what do they call it? Collaboration over competition. So collaborate with that person, because I can guarantee you, for every single thing that you think someone else is so much better at, that person will look at you and think that you are better at something than they are. So together you can actually become this awesome thing. Every time I have reached out to a 200K or whoever and said, would you share with my team? We saw what you did at conference, or we saw what you did on the 200K documentary. Made me think of that reel that says women are lifting each other up now and not. Yes, we are lifting each other up. We're not competing. And again, it's an instinct to compete and it's an instinct to feel all that, but we have to be intentional with what we're feeling and turn that around. But I think, and you guys can attest to this, when we have had guest speakers on our Zoom, they're so good. It is so good to learn from other people. And so, as a leader, you can go into your team chat or you can go into your team Zooms and be like, I'm not as good of a leader as that lady. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Ask that lady to help you. Ask that lady to come in and speak. I'm not perfect. So I love when other people come in and speak and when other people from the team share, because in that way we're all collaborating together and we're all learning from each other. So again, instead of being competition with someone else, I would rather collaborate with them, because it's going to do better for the whole team and me. I learn every time we have a guest speaker. I learn. I sit and take notes just like everybody else. So the next time you really feel yourself following someone, she's not on here tonight, but I'm going to call out Courtney Summers. She made a post on Facebook a while back, and I just off the cuff was like, broke to blessed was my answer to what she had gone through. And she was like, that would be such a good idea for a series. I want to start interviewing people to do that. And so she has started that. And she had watched a Zoom or something on YouTube with Sabrina Foray. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, she was like, she just thought it was the most amazing thing. And she thought this girl was so awesome. And so she reached out and she said, hey, I watched this. You were inspiring. Thank you for being so real. Thank you for everything you said. It was incredible. And they actually got a conversation going back and forth. And turns out that lady who she thought was incredible and amazing is just a human like the rest of us. Right. But now they're friends. Now they can collaborate. Now she can actually have her be on her series and back and forth. So again, it's like looking up to someone, but instead of like drawing the line and putting them on a pedestal, like reaching out to them and talking to them and using that inspiration to grow yourself as a human and your business, versus watching from afar and being like, well, I suck because she's amazing at this stuff and I'm not. And one of the biggest things I think is you've got to practice gratitude. You've got to remember where you started and where you are now. When I think back to being a promoter right off the cuff, like brand new, clueless, not really sure what the heck I was doing. We did, for those of you that are new, we used to do team calls, like not a Zoom, like it was on the phone. Everyone would dial into the number and listen in. And I remember being asked to speak on a team call, and my heart, I thought I was going to throw up. I really thought my heart was going to come out my throat and land on the table. Like I was like, I can't. What if I say something wrong? What if I mess up my words? Blah, blah, blah. Like I put all that pressure on myself. All they did was ask me to share my Thrive story. Like now I know, almost 7 years later, I'm like, oh, share my Thrive story. Oh, you want me to do it with my eyes closed or my eyes open? Like, like you all know that now. So you got to remember where you came from and how far you've come. So yeah, maybe somebody else is killing it with Reels or killing it with Facebook Lives and you're not quite there yet. But hey, maybe you're posting. Maybe you're making stories that you didn't used to make. And also you could just be grateful that you're getting to see what other people are doing so you can learn from it. So it's just a matter of like shifting that perspective again. Like, are you going to be jealous and are you going to be comparing and putting yourself down? Or can you be grateful that you've grown as much as you have and now you have this opportunity to learn from somebody else? So it's mindset. I mean, everything we talk about, I think, is mindset all the time. But I just know, and I feel like especially near the end of the year, People will start throwing out there, this is how much I sold this year. This is how many auto bonus earners are on my team. And people start to get like, I don't know, like 1 second you're like, wow, that's amazing. And then next your brain's like, yeah, but we didn't do that. That didn't happen for us. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? And so again, that's drawing the line and making a competition instead of being like, wow, I need to ask her how she did that. Like, how did that happen? And again, to go back to the whole celebrity status, there are people, shoot. Damn it. I will make it through the Zoom. I even took cough syrup before the Zoom. I was like, maybe that'll help like chill my throat out. I don't know. There are people who come from other companies that then come to this company, and they had a whole group of people that followed them over. So just because somebody hit 12K in a week, that's awesome and it's exciting, but it doesn't mean that they are better than you. They just have a different circumstance than you. They already had a following of people. They already had a group of people that trusted them. Oh my gosh. Oh, good times. The timing of doing that could not have been better. Like literally 7:15. I was like, oh. But anyway, so something I want to talk about, and I'm not going to make this like company gossip, but it happens a lot. It's happened before. It happened again like last week. Just because somebody is a 200K or a millionaire or whatever the heck, whatever they portray themselves to be on this little guy, right? Doesn't mean that they are who they say they are. It doesn't mean that they're loyal to anyone like the company or whatever. There was actually a gal who had earned like one of those fastest growing, or well, I forget what they call that at conference last time. She actually earned this award, and like her whole social media, like people, she spoke at a company, Thingamabobber, like one of the big locals that they had. Everybody was drooling over this gal, thought she was perfect, wonderful, best thing since bread and butter. And the company found out, I think last week or the week before, I know the shit hit the fan last week. The company found out she was trying to take her entire team to another company, and she got fired. And so I went back through and I was looking at all the posts, and I'm like, wow, fake, right? Like you just can't compare yourself to someone like that. And you don't ever know who's being honest and who's not, right? Oh, what? Come on, tell us who it was. Try elderberry. Oh, wait, Tiff's trying to get me to quit coughing. Elderberry gummies. Well, so Tiffany, you might have missed it. I actually inhaled accidentally some disinfectant at work as I was walking out tonight. So I just have, it's inflamed. It's not real happy with me right now. And I do okay, but then all of a sudden it comes back. I will tell you. So Down with Dell is her name on Instagram. What's her name on Facebook? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Well, I just won't post this one on YouTube. But anyway, so she was like at 200K. She was like on her way to millionaire. If not, I don't even know. But she was one of those girls. It was like everybody loved her. Everybody like wanted to be like her. She cried on a Zoom about how much she loved the company. And right. So not that I want to like pick at people, but next time you're comparing yourself to someone and their success, I want you to remember that what you are seeing is not who they are. Sorry. You don't always get what's really going on in someone's life. So when you are going down that, like, oh, her pictures are great. Oh, they went on a leader retreat, or, oh, they did this, or, oh, they did that. That's great. And that's good. And they're advertising that on purpose. So remember that that's all on purpose. They're doing that on purpose, but it may not be who you really think it is. So what you need to do is take your focus off of them and focus on you. So if you're seeing people going on lifestyle getaways and you're like, oh my gosh, why can't I? Because you've already wasted 10% of your brain power worried about someone else versus your business. That's why. You got to focus on your business, focus on your goals, focus on where you want to go, what you want to do. And maybe it's not a lifestyle getaway. Maybe you just want to be making $100 extra a week or $100 extra a month. I don't know. Everyone has different goals. But if you keep your eye on that prize and you just scroll every blue moon for inspiration and ideas, you'll go a heck of a lot farther than if you are constantly looking through it, who's doing what and how much better they are. than you, because these people may not be better at all. They may be completely fake. And only you know what's real in your world because it's your world. So that's really what I want you guys to take away. Is everyone Googling her now? Everyone's looking on. I see people looking down at their phone. Yeah. And she switched to a company that a lot of other people have tried in the past and they've dropped off the face of the earth. So I don't even know why she did that. But anyway, I'm a thriver because of Thrive. Some people are thrivers because of sales. And that's okay. I'm not dodging anybody for how they make their money. I'm not in the position to be like, oh, I'm going to go sell something totally different tomorrow. And some people are, and that's great. And that's good. But I think it's important to be genuine. Ay, caramba. Does anyone know how to Google to get disinfectant out of your throat? I just think it's really pissed. Maybe it's an Advil. I don't even know. But anyway. Okay. So does that help? So I want you to walk away with create versus consume. And I want you to walk away with collaboration versus competition. Delsym. That's what I took. Delsym, the cough syrup. I took that right before because I thought, well, maybe that'll like calm it down. You know, the spray bottles, you spray, you spritz, you turn around and it goes, oh, honey, that's a good idea. I do have some honey in there. Okay. It was just bad timing because I just literally had to get on Zoom and start talking. So anyway, so hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully, as you're going into the holidays. So do take away from this that it's not just your business, that you're doing this to yourself. You're doing it at your day job. You might be some of you may be getting ready to dive into the biggest world of comparison syndrome you've ever been in during Christmas. Somebody else bought better gifts. Somebody else has a better tree. Somebody else hosted because they have a bigger house. Somebody else's kid is doing better than their kid. Like what the heck ever. When you hear those things or feel those things, just remember by saying that you, not them, the one you're mad at because they have the better house and they think they're better, you are the one that drew the line in the sand and made it a competition, not them. So if you don't want it to be a competition, don't draw that line in the sand. Be happy for them and be happy for what you have. I mean, part of it is just, I guess, because of who I am, but we have some friends that have amazing, beautiful homes. I mean, they're gigantic. They've got so many damn toilets. I don't know how they keep track of them. I don't want that. I don't want to have to clean that many toilets in my life. Like holy crap. I don't want that. And so, every now and then we'll go places and people talk about our cute little house. And I'm like, I freaking love my cute little house. This is where I want to be. Like, this is my jam. And so I could easily be like, well, I guess we should get a bigger house. But again, it's who I am. It's the age I am. It's where I am in my life. And I remember being younger and wanting a big house and thinking the bigger the house, the better you were doing. And so again, learn, we're all over 18 here. We've all seen people go in debt up to their eyeballs to look good, but be super unhealthy, or in debt up to their eyeballs to have the beautiful house, but they don't have a pot to piss in reality. So just keep that in mind when you start comparing, that you are where you are because of every decision you've made in your life. Literally, the good places and the bad places that you are in your life, you are there because those are the decisions that you made. So if you aren't happy, if you start like, yeah, but they have that better, and then that's what I want. Great. If you know that's what you want now, start making decisions to get you to there. Okay. Don't spend time wasting your life away. I mean, any second of your life that you spend thinking about someone else and what they have versus you've just wasted. And the only thing we have in this world that is truly, honestly precious is our time. So if you spend any second of your life worried about what somebody else has that you don't have, instead of thinking, you know what, I really like what they have. How could I get that? What do I need to do to get there? Versus, must be nice to have it, right? We've all said that. I have said that. We have all said that. Must be nice. It is nice. They worked for it. So now it's our turn to work for it, right? So just keep this. I just felt like this was a super important business topic, but also this time of year with the holidays and all that fun family time people are getting ready to have with in-laws and cousins or whatever. I just thought this was an important topic to keep in your mind. So remember, if you draw the line in the sand, it's your fault for drawing the line to begin with. So think about creating versus consuming and collaboration versus competition, because your energy needs to be spent on making your life what you want it to be and your business what you want it to be. So hopefully that helped. I don't know if I'll make this public since I did say that girl's name, but I will put it on the thing and we'll have a private link for it. So anyway, you guys, I won't see you. I don't think I will personally face to face be seeing people. So Merry Christmas. I'm so happy that we all get to our little Monday nights together. Hopefully everybody has a fabulous, fabulous holiday. Don't forget, it only comes once a year, so eat all the cookies and have fun. Yes, Merry Christmas, friends. Merry Christmas to all of you. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here. Bye. Bye, Tiff. Merry Christmas.